In 1912, a rare book dealer named Wilfred Voynich made a discovery that would baffle the world for over a century. Hidden in an Italian monastery was a book unlike any other. Written 600 years ago, filled with bizarre illustrations of plants that don't exist, astronomical charts that make no sense, and hundreds of naked women bathing in strange green liquids. But the strangest part? It's written in a language that has never been seen before or since. Not a single word has ever been deciphered, not by the codebreakers of World War I, not by the NSA, not even by modern artificial intelligence. This is the Voynich Manuscript, and it remains the world's most mysterious book. So what exactly are we looking at? The Voynich Manuscript is a relatively small book, just 6 by 4 inches, consisting of around 240 pages of vellum, that's animal skin prepared for writing. Carbon dating in 2009 confirmed it was created between 1404 and 1438, placing it firmly in the early Renaissance period. The book is divided into 6 distinct sections, each more bizarre than the last. First, the herbal section, which makes up over half the book. It contains detailed illustrations of over 100 different plants. But here's the problem. Botanists have studied these for decades, and almost none of them match any known species on Earth. They appear to be chimeras, the roots of one plant, the leaves of another, the flowers of a third. It's as if the artist was describing plants from another world. Next, the astronomical section. Circular diagrams depicting the sun, the moon, and zodiac symbols. But surrounding these familiar celestial bodies are concentric rings of tiny naked women emerging from what look like barrels or tubes, holding stars on strings. It's unlike any medieval astrological text ever discovered. Then comes the most controversial section, the biological or balneological section. Hundreds of miniature nude women bathing in elaborate interconnected pools of green and blue liquid. The pools are connected by what looks like elaborate plumbing systems, and some of these tubes resemble human internal organs. Medical historians have debated whether this is a treatise on women's health, reproduction, or something far more esoteric. The cosmological section features stunning fold-out pages with circular maps. One famous page unfolds to reveal 9 separate pages showing what appears to be an island with 9 causeways, castles, and a strange volcanic structure. No one knows what it represents. The pharmaceutical section shows small drawings of plant parts, roots, leaves, petals, alongside illustrations of apothecary jars, the kind medieval pharmacists would have used to store medicines. And finally, the recipe section, which contains no illustrations at all, just short paragraphs of text separated by star-shaped or flower-shaped bullet points in the margins. Every single page is written in the same mysterious script, flowing from left to right, using an alphabet of about 20 to 30 characters that have never been seen in any other manuscript in human history. Now you might be thinking, maybe it's just gibberish, maybe someone just made it up. But here's where things get scientifically fascinating. In the 1970s, cryptologist Prescott Currier made a groundbreaking discovery. He found that the manuscript was actually written in 2 distinct languages or dialects, now called Currier A and Currier B. These were written by at least 2 different scribes, each with their own handwriting style. This means the mystery isn't just one person's elaborate prank, it involved multiple people working together. But the real bombshell came from statistical analysis. In every natural human language, there's a mathematical pattern called Zipf's law. It states that the most common word in any language appears roughly twice as often as the second most common word, 3 times as often as the third most common word, and so on. It's a fundamental fingerprint of human language. Random gibberish doesn't follow Zipf's law, but the Voynich manuscript does, perfectly. The text also has what linguists call word entropy, a measure of how predictable or unpredictable a language is. Voynichese has lower entropy than most European languages, meaning it's highly repetitive. You'll see the same 3 words appearing at the start of almost every line, like a ritualistic chant or a formulaic structure. In 2009, the University of Arizona performed radiocarbon dating on the vellum. The result? The parchment definitively dates to between 1404 and 1438. The ink analysis also matched early 15th century recipes. This isn't a modern forgery. This book is genuinely 600 years old. And yet, despite having the statistical properties of a real language, despite being written by multiple scribes, despite being carefully crafted on expensive vellum, not a single word has ever been translated, not one. So what is the Voynich Manuscript? Over the past century, 4 main theories have emerged. Let's examine each one. Theory 1, the lost cipher. This theory suggests the text is a real European language, perhaps Latin, Italian, or a medieval dialect, encrypted using an incredibly sophisticated cipher. Supporters point to the fact that medieval scholars did use complex encryption methods, especially for sensitive alchemical or religious texts. But here's the problem. Standard medieval ciphers were broken centuries ago. If this is a cipher, it's unlike anything ever documented. And why would someone go to such elaborate lengths to encrypt a book about bathing women and fake plants? What secret could possibly be worth this much effort? Theory 2, an unknown natural language. Some researchers believe a medieval explorer or missionary encountered a lost indigenous language and created a phonetic alphabet to transcribe it. Perhaps it's from the Americas, Asia, or a now extinct European tongue. In 2018, computer scientist Greg Kondrak used artificial intelligence to claim the text was encoded Hebrew. In 2019, a British academic argued it was Proto-Romance, a linguistic bridge between Latin and modern Romance languages. Both claims made headlines, but both were fiercely criticized by mainstream linguists who said the researchers cherry-picked words to fit their theories. Neither has been widely accepted. Theory 3, a constructed philosophical language. In the centuries after the Voynich was written, philosophers tried to invent perfect languages where the spelling of a word indicated its category. All plants might start with the letter P, and if the second letter is A, it means it's medicinal. The Voynich text has a highly structured prefix and suffix system that fits this pattern. Could this be a very early attempt at a constructed language, centuries before anyone thought to try? Theory 4, the elaborate hoax. This is the most controversial theory, and it has 2 variations. The first suggests a medieval con artist created the book to sell to Holy Roman Emperor Rudolph II, who ruled in the late 1500s and was obsessed with the occult. Historical records show Rudolph paid enormous sums for mysterious books and artifacts. A clever forger could have created an ancient tome of forbidden knowledge and sold it for a fortune. The second variation is more sinister, that Wilfrid Voynich himself forged the book in the early 1900s to sell to a museum. But this theory has largely been debunked by the 2009 carbon dating, which proved the vellum is genuinely medieval. In 1978, physicist Gordon Rugg demonstrated that a hoaxer could have generated the Voynich text's complex statistical patterns using a 16th century device called a cardan grill, a piece of parchment with holes cut in it, moved over a grid of prefixes, roots, and suffixes. This could produce text that looks statistically like a real language but is actually meaningless. It's a brilliant theory, but it still doesn't explain why multiple scribes would work together on such an elaborate deception, or why the book was treated as genuinely mysterious by its earliest known owners in the 1600s. So which theory is correct? The truth is, we still don't know.
The earliest confirmed owner of the manuscript was Georg Baresch, an obscure alchemist living in Prague in the early 1600s. Baresch was completely baffled by the book and sent copies of the text to the famous Jesuit scholar Athanasius Kircher in Rome, begging him to decipher it. Kircher, one of the most brilliant minds of the 17th century, also failed. When Baresch died, the book passed to his friend Jan Marek Marci, who eventually sent it to Kircher in 1665. In his accompanying letter, Marci claimed that Holy Roman Emperor Rudolph II had purchased the book for 600 gold ducats, an enormous sum, believing it to be the lost work of the 13th century English friar and scientist, Roger Bacon. After Kircher's death, the book disappeared into the archives of the Collegio Romano in Rome for nearly 200 years. It resurfaced in 1912 when the Jesuits, needing funds, sold off parts of their collection. Wilfrid Voynich, a Polish rare book dealer, purchased it and spent the rest of his life trying to decipher it and sell it for a massive fortune. He sparked the modern obsession with the manuscript. Today, the Voynich Manuscript is housed at Yale University's Beinecke Rare Book Library. Catalogued as MS 408, it remains one of the library's most requested items. The Voynich Manuscript has survived for over 600 years. It has outlived its creators, its owners, and the civilization that produced it. It has resisted the efforts of medieval alchemists, Renaissance scholars, World War codebreakers, Cold War cryptographers, and 21st century artificial intelligence. Every year, new theories emerge. Every year, someone claims to have finally cracked the code. And every year, those claims are debunked. The manuscript remains silent, its secrets locked behind an impenetrable wall of strange symbols. Perhaps it's an elaborate hoax. Perhaps it's a lost language from a forgotten people. Perhaps it's a cipher so advanced that we simply haven't developed the tools to break it yet. Or perhaps, just perhaps, it contains knowledge so dangerous or so profound that it was deliberately hidden from the world. We may never know. And maybe that's the point. In an age where we can instantly access almost all of human knowledge, the Voynich Manuscript remains a reminder that some mysteries endure, that some doors remain locked, that some books refuse to be read. What do you think? Is the Voynich Manuscript a brilliant cipher, a lost language, or the greatest hoax in history? Let me know in the comments below. And if you want to see more deep dives into history's greatest mysteries, make sure to subscribe and hit that notification bell. Thanks for watching.